Ukraine's president asking for one-on-one talks with Vladimir Putin as heavy combat continues in the south and east of Ukraine.
Cities are being hit with heavy artillery and bombing as Russian forces press their assault, now walking the streets of strategically important Kherson. Matt Ingram has the latest on the war.
Russian troops walk the streets and the loud noise of tanks fill the air in the southern strategic city of Kherson.
Yesterday and today was awful.
22-year-old travel agent Daria Mironchuk keeps the lights off after dark to try and avoid being targeted by a Russian bomb. She says Russian troops are only a couple hundred meters from her home, occupying a store and a police station.
In my street, I saw they here.
Yesterday, she says Kherson was hit by rocket and artillery fire between 10 and 20 times, killing civilians and causing widespread destruction. Today, she says they have been bombed 5 times.
They bombed 4 houses. They bombed the school near me. They burned the big shop center, take our food, take our drink. They drink a lot of alcohol. In the morning, when we get up, we called each other to say, how are you? Are you alive?
The Russian military says it has taken control of the city, but a senior U.S. defense official tells Reuters that isn't true, saying fighting continues and it's too soon to say Russia is in control. Vladimir Putin went on state TV today to say the invasion is going to plan.
It is many fakes information about Kherson.
Mironchuk says Kherson is not controlled by Russia, saying the mayor and his staff remain in control of public utilities. The Ukrainian flag still flies, and Ukrainian forces continue to battle Russians outside the city limits.
Kherson is Ukraine and not the Russian Federation.
Russian forces surround the city and are moving towards Mykolaiv, getting closer to Odessa. Kherson's mayor says there are no Ukrainian military units inside the city. He says the Russians entered the city council and they made a deal where if civilians follow a set of rules, the Ukrainian flag will still fly. Mironchuk says Russians are using the population as a human shield and Ukrainian soldiers don't engage because they don't want to kill civilians.
Russian soldiers hide between civils, between people like me.
We have continuous shelling for 26 hours.
To the east, Mariupol's deputy mayor says the Russians are destroying the city, which is now surrounded, as locals protest Russian convoys passing in the streets. Outside the capital, Ukrainian forces say they destroyed 20 Russian vehicles in Gostomel as Russia presses its assault towards Kyiv. That 65-kilometer-long convoy still inching forward. It's coming from the northwest, where the town of Borodyanka has been heavily damaged. Locals say they repelled a Russian attack. Russian military vehicles sit destroyed in the streets. In the suburb of Hatny, homes were destroyed by an airstrike, according to local police. The Russian Ministry of Defense released this video. It says shows its forces moving towards the capital, where construction workers are using their skills to build anti-tank defenses. Ukraine's president is once again asking for a no-fly zone from NATO and more warplanes, telling reporters a compromise with Russia is needed to end the war, and asking for one-on-one talks with Putin.
Because there are no other ways to stop this war.
There were also heavy attacks on Kharkiv and Chernihiv as the Ukrainian and Russian delegation met for another round of talks today, agreeing on the need to create humanitarian corridors, but no agreement on a ceasefire or an armistice. Both sides have agreed to speak again. The United Nations Refugee Agency says more than 1 million people have fled Ukraine since the war began just a week ago. The head of the agency says it's the fastest exodus he's seen in 40 years.